Okay, number 5, let's talk about North Vancouver. If you're a very outdoorsy person, you like to go on a lot of hikes, mountain bikes, and skiing, well guys, North Vancouver is your guy. It's a very outdoorsy neighborhood just based on my experiences and the multiple times that I visited there. It really encourages you to be one with nature and in the great outdoors. They're famously known for the Capilano Suspension Bridge, the Lonsdale Quay, Deep Cove, and Grouse Grind. Capilano Suspension Bridge is well worth visiting, especially during the Christmas time because they deck the whole area out with Christmas lights or glittering lights, which gives you that Christmassy, warm, cozy feel. At the Lonsdale Quay, there are over 80 shops that sell fresh and local food at their market. Another popular activity to do in North Van is their Grouse Grind. It's basically a nature staircase master challenge, and it will probably take you about an hour and a half to get to the top of the mountain. And guys, the views there are just superb. They're just breathtaking. It's definitely worth checking out, especially during the summer. Also, just a heads up you guys, you can take a gondola down back to the bayside after you've reached the top of Grouse Grind, so you don't have to suffer for another hour and a half just to get down. Okay, lastly is Deep Cove. I actually made a video about this found in my channel, so feel free to check it out. It just kind of gives me that feeling that I want to be reading a book or picnicking down by Deep Cove while I'm wearing this summer floral dress. If North Van were a city in Metro Manila, this kind of reminds me of Antipolo. Okay, now for cons. So North Vancouver, the way that it's structured is a lot of the residential areas are found at the top, while all the shops and restaurants are found at the base. So if you want to get around the area, you definitely need a car. Otherwise, expect to do another hike just by getting around. I also feel that traffic and transit here is brutal. North Vancouver does not have a SkyTrain route, so expect to ride a lot of buses to get around that don't come as often. Monthly rent average for a 1-bedroom apartment costs $1,900, a 2-bedroom at $2,700, and a 3-bedroom at $3,300 per month. Number 6, let's now talk about New Westminster. If you like peace and quiet, but you also appreciate the hustle and bustle of a city, well, good news you guys, because New Westminster is your guy. I especially love going to the quayside or the waterfront area of New Westminster because I enjoy the views of walking right beside the Fraser River. It's also quite convenient living there because New Westminster also has a train station, and the train station can get you to downtown Vancouver in about 40 minutes or less. Aside from that, it's not only a train station, they also have movie theaters with the Landmark Cinemas. It's also a grocery store with Safeway, and they also have a lot of small fast food chains such as Tim Hortons, Fresh Slice, Donaire Dude, and much more. Oh, and New Westminster also has a lot of new developments coming along, which is good news because that means that the city is quickly urbanizing. So cons, I feel that the only best part about living in the New Westminster area is their waterfront or downtown core. If you were to live outside of these areas, there's not much else to see. If you live outside the SkyTrain route, expect to do a massive walk up or down a massive hill, probably in the rain as well. I also noticed that New Westminster does not have a lot of ethnic groceries nearby. So for example, if I'm looking to cook a Filipino dish, I'd have to buy my ingredients in either Burnaby, Vancouver, or the Richmond area. Also, just a tip you guys, if you are ever to live in the Greater Vancouver Area, make sure that wherever you study, live, or work won't have to cross a bridge because crossing any bridge here is considered a nightmare. You can easily add up to 20 minutes to your travel time when you're crossing a bridge, and unfortunately, New Westminster crosses a lot of bridges. So from New West to Surrey, there's a bridge. From New West to Richmond, there's a bridge. Monthly rent average for a 1-bedroom apartment here costs $1,500, which is the second cheapest. 2-bedroom here at $2,200, and a 3-bedroom at $2,600 per month. Last na tayo. Let's talk about number 7, Number 7 is the Tri-Cities area. So the Tri-Cities area is composed of Port Coquitlam, and Port Moody. One thing that I could say about this area is this is the best place to raise a family and have kids for the following reasons. Number 1 is it's not a densely populated area, so there's less traffic and less noise pollution here. Second is there are a lot of greenery and natural hidden gems to be found in the Tri-Cities area. They have a lot of good parks, hiking trails, and a lot of open spaces for your kids to roam around. In general, the Tri-Cities area is considered safe, friendly, and quiet. Places worth visiting there. So I've only been to 2 so far. I went to the Rocky Point Park where I met a friend of mine that lived there, and we went paddle boarding and we saw 3 seals along the way. So it was a very nice experience being that close to marine life. Second trip is I also went to the Bunsen Lake area, which is a very nice family outing area where you can do picnics, barbecue. There's also a lot of water sports such as kayaking, boating, paddleboarding, and much more. I actually made a video about this in my channel, so feel free to check it out. Cons. So if downtown Vancouver were BGC, then I guess the Tri-Cities area feels like you're coming from Laguna. So yeah, I guess the major downside of living in the Tri-Cities area is that it's so far from downtown Vancouver, especially if you were to study or work there. It's kind of like having all your friends in the Alabang area while you live in Fairview or deep down north. That's how difficult it is to see friends that live in downtown Vancouver or the Vancouver area if you're coming from the Tri-Cities area. Monthly rent average for a 1-bedroom apartment here costs $1,600, which is the same as Richmond's. 2-bedroom apartment for $2,200 and a 3-bedroom at $2,900 per month. Okay guys, so let's just summarize our key points. The second most expensive to live in all of Canada is Vancouver, next to our number 1, which is Toronto. The most expensive neighborhood to live here is in Vancouver, especially the downtown area, while the least expensive city to live in the Greater Vancouver Area is Surrey. While the most popular listing type is a 1-bedroom apartment. Popular resources to look for rental listings are found in Craigslist, Kijiji, Apartment Love, and Live.rent. Another important thing to note here is their income to rent ratio, and I found out that 45% of people spend their income on rent. And this is quite shocking, and it's actually a bit worrisome because imagine having almost half of your income go to rent to a place that you won't own. So with that, let's now move on to tips on how to save or become financially wiser in looking for accommodations here in the Greater Vancouver area. Number 1 is consider a roommate situation. You're not only splitting the rent 50-50, but you're also increasing your rent options and living space as well. Number 2 is to live with relatives. Because of them, I was able to save 80% of my income to help me prepare for my PR application because I had to save up for the settlement funds in order to support my stay here. Third is quite obvious, and that is do not live in downtown. You can always consider moving to a closer neighborhood that can get you to downtown Vancouver in 30 minutes or less, such as Burnaby or Richmond. And lastly, number 4, if you are to find a place to rent here in the Greater Vancouver area, make sure to sign a longer lease, just because that in turn can reduce your rent because landlords like stability and long-term tenants. Anyway guys, medyo napatagal na yung usapan. Thank you so much for being patient with me and for listening throughout this whole video. Sana nakatulong ito in helping you guys decide where to stay here at the Greater Vancouver area. Also, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on my IG, which is RR Dancel, which you'll find a lot of my adventures here in Canada. Again, maraming salamat for watching, you guys. I hope that you're all safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!